Good day, everyone. So I am here, or we are here in front of you together with my co-members to discuss or report about on how to correctly answer multiple choices questions. So there are a lot of steps on how to do it or how to answer it correctly. So phrase is read the questions theme carefully before choices. Or read the questions theme carefully before looking at the choices. So aside from the explanation on the screen, I will giving you another explanation to be for you in order to understand it fully. So this means you should fully understand the question itself before checking the answers options. When you read the question carefully, try to understand what is really being asked, think of the answer in your own words first, and then avoid jumping straight to the choices. So it is helpful because some options are distractors. So they look correct but don't actually answer the question. So if you already have an idea of the answer, you are less likely to be tricked by answers that just found or just sound right. So, like for example, if the question asks, what is the main cause of climate change? So, think first greenhouse gas, emissions from human activities, then look for the option that matches that idea instead of guessing. So, now let's move on to step number two. Identify keywords and qualifiers. So keywords and qualifiers are important words that change the meaning of the question. So you should look for words like except, best, most, always, never, and not. So it matters because words like except or not flip the question. You are looking for the wrong option instead of the right one. So words like always or never are usually risky because very few things are true all the time. So, like for example, the question is, all of the following are benefits of exercise except. So, in here, you are not choosing a benefit, but you're choosing the option that does not fit. So, another example, if an option says, this method always works, so be careful because that's often correct unless it's 100% true. So, I hope you understand my part of the discussion. That's all.
So now we're gonna proceed to the third step, which is use the process of elimination. So eliminate options that are clearly wrong, even if you're unsure of the correct answer. So crossing out one or more distractors increases your odds of selecting the right answer from the remaining ones. So remove answer options that are clearly incorrect first. So even if you're unsure of the right one, this boosts your chance of selecting correctly. So for example is, if a multiple choice question asks, which planet is known for its prominent ring system? The options are A. Mars, B. Saturn, C. Venus, or D. Mercury. You can immediately cross out A, C, and D because Mars is known for its red surface, Venus for its thick atmosphere, and Mercury for being closest to the Sun. So none of the three has visible rings like Saturn. So even when you're not totally sure that Saturn is the correct answer, cutting out wrong choices makes it easier to pick the right one. Next is read all choices before deciding. So never settle on the first option that looks right. Test designers often include plausible wrong answers that seem correct at first glance. So reading all choices ensures you to choose the best possible answer and the most supported by the STEM. So here, you don't pick the first option that seems right. So test designers often put tricky wrong answers that look correct at first glance. So by reading every choice, you can compare them and choose the one that's best supported by the questions, which is the STEM. So that's all for my part.
So, number five, be smart about guessing. If the exam doesn't penalize guessing negatively, it's better to answer every question rather than leave blanks. Educated guesses where you have eliminated some wrong choices have a higher chance of being right than random guessing. However, if there is a penalty for wrong answers, or example, negative scoring, you need to be more careful and use elimination to improve your guess quality. So, in order for us to refrain from random guessing, we must analyze the question carefully for us to answer rather than leave blanks. So, number 6, watch for test traps and distractors. Some tests use distractors that restate part of the information without answering the question. Number 2, use similar wording to the correct answer to confuse test takers. And number 3, good distractors are plausible but incorrect. Some recognizing them requires careful reading and subject understanding. So we must be careful about the test distractors because these are the distractors that distract us from answering the correct answer.
Taking an exam is not only about how much you studied, but also about how well you apply test-taking strategies during the examination. Even students who know the subject well can perform poorly if they mismanage their time, second-guess themselves too much, or fail to use logical reasoning. Now, these three last tips that I will be sharing to all of you will help or will be more focused on teaching effective strategies that will help students to stay calm, organized, and confident while answering exam questions, especially multiple choice tests. Now, the seventh tip would be don't get stuck, manage your time. Let me first read the description. Allocate your time so you can answer easier questions first. If you're stuck on a difficult item, move on and return later. This prevents spending too much time on one item and rushing the rest. This means that time is limited in every exams. So it is important to use it wisely. Start by answering the easier question first. These items boost your confidence and help secure sure points early. If you encounter a difficult questions and feel stuck, do not panic. Skip it and move on to the next item. You can always return to it later. Spending too much time on one question may cause you to rush through the remaining time, which can lead to careless mistakes. Good time management ensures that you attempt all questions and maintain focus throughout the test. Now, the eighth tip is review your answers if time allows. Let me read the description. If you finish with extra time, go back and review your answers. Change an answer only if you find clear evidence that the original choice was incorrect. Blindly switching answers often lower accuracy. Now, it means to say that if you finish early, use the remaining time to review your answers. Check for careless errors such as misreading the questions or overlooking keywords like not, exact, or best. However, be careful when changing answers. Changing an answer only if you can find clear evidence that your first choice is incorrect, because research shows that blindly switching answers often lowers accuracy. Thoughtful review helps improve your score without unnecessary risk. Now, the last tip on how to properly answer a multiple choice question is using logical reasoning and prior knowledge. Let me read the description. Some research suggests that your initial understanding, based on what you have already learned, often lead you to correct answer. Trust your knowledge, but be willing to reconsider if another option clearly fits better with the question context. Now, it means to say that our initial understanding of a question is usually based on prior learning and experience. Trust this knowledge and use logical reasoning to eliminate incorrect options. Often, the correct answer stands out when you carefully analyze the question. However, remain flexible. Flexible. If another option clearly fits the context better, it is appropriate to reconsider. This balance, the confidence and critical thinking that helps us leads to a better exam performance.